Charlie Brown is synonymous with holiday specials. Charlie Brown picking out the saddest Christmas tree, Peppermint Patty yelling about Thanksgiving sides, and, of course, Linus waiting for the Great Pumpkin. Unlike a Charlie Brown Christmas, It's the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown is a bit more sinister. The special explores blind faith, societal judgment of belief systems, and the possibility of killing your god. That's right, we're going there, because we here at Nerdwire want to piss off the internet any chance we get. Plus, with my background in rhetorical criticism, how could I not deep dive a 25-minute special? Rhetorical criticism is a college major equivalent of shouting into the void that is YouTube. I'm Chris Carr, and God is dead, Charlie Brown! Before we explore the special itself, it's imperative we know what was going on behind the scenes. After the great success of A Charlie Brown Christmas, CBS wanted to keep the Peanut specials coming, and opted to bring a Schultz strip to the screen where Linus waits all of All Hallows Eve for the Great Pumpkin to make an appearance. According to the producer and animator Lee Mendelson, It's the Great Pumpkin was the team kind of sticking it to CBS's executives, who claimed to have hated A Charlie Brown Christmas. They only warmed to it when the viewers poured in and it received rave reviews. CBS demanded the team deliver another hit. Schultz wasn't a big Santa guy, if you couldn't tell from the Christmas special spitting in the face of commercialism. He found the idea of children believing that a fat, gift-giving man traversing the globe was totally absurd and almost cruel, since many children weren't in a position to receive an abundance of gifts due to circumstances outside of their control. So, the team draped a sheet over a Christmas special and called it a Halloween show. The Great Pumpkin is an obvious metaphor for Santa Claus and the futility of believing in such fairy tales. Unlike Linus's unquestionable faith in A Charlie Brown Christmas, in It's a Great Pumpkin, Linus is deemed a complete nutjob for thinking some anthropomorphized Pumpkin King was going to bring him presents. To be fair, the Peanuts gang really should expect such behavior from a philosophical, thumb-sucking blanket carrier. Linus has always been weird, y'all. Catch up. The gang knows that Linus has misplaced his faith, and that he's just going to be disappointed.
When are you going to stop believing in something that isn't true?
Obviously, the purpose of faith is to believe without evidence. We've all seen the Santa Claus. But the special makes a point to hammer in the futility of Linus's Great Pumpkin evangelism. Linus refuses to believe the possibility that the Great Pumpkin doesn't exist, even going so far as to write to the Great Pumpkin, "If you aren't real, please don't tell me." Despite the ridicule of his peers, and even the scorn of Sally, which is saying something, girl is thirsty for a boy in a red tee and a blue blankie, Linus still camps out all night awaiting the Great Pumpkin. He waits, and waits, and waits. He finally passes out outside in the cold autumn air. Who does he think he is, Amelia Pond? Seriously, where the hell are the Peanuts parents? They're literally the worst. Your free-range child rearing is bullcrap, Van Peltz, and you know it. Your child is practicing without a medical license and is definitely gonna be a serial killer. Linus is outside, possibly freezing to death, alone outdoors, exposed to the elements and wandering pedophiles, but luckily, his psychopathic sister Lucy shows some semblance of human traits, gathers up her sleeping brother, and tucks the shivering child back in bed. Also, why is the music so upbeat here? We've just shattered Linus's belief system, and he's almost died for a moot cause. Maybe something a little somber here, Vincent Guaraldi? Now, many of you are probably saying, but Chris, this doesn't prove that God is dead, you goddamn heathen. And you're right. But it does show a more existential belief system showing how faith goes unrewarded and examines the futility of belief. It's more about the idea of killing God and his concept. Charlie Brown and the rest of his mildly depressive friends were always searching for answers and never finding them, hoping to find meaning in a bleak, lonely world. The juxtaposition of the futility of life, but the ongoing search to give life meaning in both the panels of Peanuts as well as specials like The Great Pumpkin, mirrors that of Waiting for Godot. In Samuel Beckett's absurdist work, two men are waiting for Godot, the God character, who will never arrive, yet they'll never leave because of the possibility of his existence and arrival. Linus believes the Great Pumpkin could come. Charlie Brown will continue trying to kick that football, hoping against all hope that one day Lucy won't pull it away at the last minute. Life may or may not have meaning, but we sure do want to give it some and believe in things greater than ourselves. This meaninglessness matches up with the works and philosophy of Friedrich Nietzsche. Nietzsche was a German philosopher and essayist who wrote predominantly on the meaning of existence. Nietzsche was most often associated with nihilism. For him, there is no objective order or structure in the world except what we give it. We can take this a step further and make a case for It's the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown being a loose adaptation of Nietzsche's The Parable of the Madman. In it, it says the following: "Have you not heard of the madman who lit a lantern in the bright morning hours, ran to the marketplace, and cried incessantly, 'I seek God! I seek God!' As many of those who did not believe in God were standing around just then, he provoked much laughter. Has he got lost? Asked one. Did he lose his way like a child? Asked another. Or is he hiding? Thus they yelled and laughed. The madman jumped into their midst and pierced them with his eyes. "Whither is God?" he cried. "I will tell you. We have killed him. You and I. All of us are his murderers. God is dead. God remains dead. And we have killed him." You know, light stuff. Translating existential philosophy into a children's holiday special seemed to come so effortlessly for the Peanuts shows. The Christmas special gave an honest, emotional look at being a kid. Most holiday movies have epic stakes and demand children achieve something extraordinary. Merry Christmas, Charlie Brown showed us the power of a small victory, like your friends coming around to the tree you selected. It's not a loud, holly jolly special. However, unlike The Great Pumpkin, Merry Christmas, Charlie Brown ended on a positive note. I mean, literally. When Linus suggests the gang all sing pumpkin carols, he's immediately met with ridicule for once again self-sabotaging his Halloween experience by waiting for a mythical gift-giving deity. Further distancing himself from the prophecy-spitting child from A Charlie Brown Christmas, Linus is viewed as a false prophet. He doesn't spend his holidays surrounded by loved ones. His friends abandon him for his belief. At the end of the special, Charlie Brown tries to comfort his friend by saying how he too has done stupid things in the past. "We know, Charles. You cut like 19 holes in your ghost costume. You're a blockhead." This, "Hey man, it's cool that you did a dumb" comment is met with so much hostility, and Linus starts revving up for next Halloween as if he's a resident of Halloween Town, shouting at his friend about how next year things will be different when he's a better, more faithful fellow. Finding a more sincere pumpkin patch, whatever the hell that means.
I don't see how a pumpkin patch could be more sincere than this one. You can look all around and there's not a sign of hypocrisy.
And once again, Linus enters this futile cycle. But if we want to truly discuss a more literal take on killing your gods, let's pivot towards paganism! That's right, kids. We're going to look at this as if Linus had some true pagan beliefs, despite quoting from the Book of Luke.
We are obviously separated by denominational differences.
Early in the special, we watch as Linus and Lucy go to the pumpkin patch to select their pumpkin. Which, okay, side quest, did these kids straight up steal a pumpkin? I think they stole that pumpkin. Alright, anyway, the children take the pumpkin home where Lucy lovingly lays down some newspaper and gets to carving that pumpkin with the glee of Patrick Bateman carving up a yuppie. Again, Lucy is a psycho, and this all is leading to her turning the Van Pelt home into one of her murder dens. Apparently, Linus did not sign up for being an accomplice to this pumpkin crime.
You didn't tell me you were gonna kill it.
Now, from a ritualistic standpoint, this could be an offering to the Great Pumpkin, Linus's pumpkin god. However, tradition suggests otherwise. The carving of pumpkins came from an old Celtic tradition that was intended to ward off evil spirits. The Irish used turnips, though, I guess to keep the tradition incredibly depressing and sad, before shifting to gourds and eventually the noble pumpkin. That's all good and well, and it apparently keeps Satan at bay, which I guess is great if you aren't into Satan. But what if your god is a pumpkin? Would such butchery anger your godly god and keep him from delivering all the gifts to the good girls and boys of the town? Shouldn't you give him, I don't know, a bag of Miracle Grow and call it a day? Linus and Lucy also take the largest pumpkin available, so let's go further with that. What if that pumpkin they selected, and consequently carved up, was in fact the Great Pumpkin? Did Linus watch his sister murder his beloved autumnal Santa? Killing the Great Pumpkin would definitely offer up another explanation as to why Linus never saw him running around on Halloween. In true Peanuts tradition, Linus is left with his needs unmet, his faith challenged and crumpled, and his friends feeling smugly superior in their commercial, normalized beliefs. It's like an upside-down version of Silver Lake. But at least Linus didn't get a rock instead of Halloween candy. Good grief. If you have more great pumpkin theories, let us know in the comments below. For more Halloween videos, click to the left of the screen or check us out on Roku and Plex. Happy Halloween! See you, Space Cowboys!